Oh, I see we wore matching suits. That's nice.
We got the memo.
Yeah. All right. Full disclosure. Bill and I are good friends. Bill and I met 6 years ago because he and his team at SBA ran the program that saved a lot of small businesses during COVID. And Bill, we talked a lot during those days, nights, weeks, and months, all trying to get information and resources to small business. And you and your team at SBA saved thousands, hundreds of thousands of small businesses. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now that we've established we're friends, we could just get rid of the script. But let's get right to it. There are small business owners here and watching online who have an idea.
Okay.
And they want to turn that idea into a business, but maybe they don't have the budget for a consultant or market research. How does SBA help those entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, Tom, thank you for having me here. In case anyone doesn't know, it is National Small Business Week, and so this is the week we recognize and elevate and celebrate small businesses who truly are the backbone of our economy. And you talk about the people having an idea to start a small business. Under this president, I think more small businesses are starting up. I think the stats were 600,000 in the last few months or something. I mean, a lot of people are having this idea. And so what I often say to people when they have an idea is validate it. And, measure twice, cut once, which is the old carpenter's motto. But SBA offers a variety of resources through our resource partners. We have our small business development centers, our veteran business opportunity centers, which cater to the veteran crowd, a very important crowd to me, women's business centers, and all of that. And in these centers, you can get low or no cost advice on everything from developing a business plan to a marketing and outreach strategy, but it helps you validate your idea or concept and then build a business plan. And so I always say to people, you might be starting or going into business for yourself, but you are not going into business by yourself. And it's important to have a team of advisors and people you trust, whether you're trying to access capital or take the next thought about expanding and growing. And that's, again, where our small business development centers and all of that can be. And SBA can be a member of your team, a valued partner in that process. The other thing, too, is we now live in an AI economy. I was just speaking to the AI Expo down the street today, and there are tremendous resources available through AI technology. And I would almost encourage someone to begin using LLM technology, basic, but starting, that can be a valuable resource, but also thinking about how you can integrate AI into your business immediately as you start to grow it. An AI-first business today will have a tremendous advantage in 5 years. And one of the great things, I get to go around the country and see how small businesses are actually leveraging AI to grow and expand and hire more people.
We didn't rehearse the AI commercial before right now, but those of you who were here for the AI training, thank you. Co is sponsoring AI training throughout the entire year, in person and online. And Bill, when the small business owner learns from the SBA partners about how to start a small business, they're then confronted with, all right, well, I've tapped out on my credit cards and my family's savings. I need a loan. Mm-hmm. What does the SBA do to help with the access to capital?
Yeah, so that's what SBA is primarily known for. And how you and I met was when I ran the Capital Access program. That is what SBA is primarily known for, is SBA loans. That's our flagship loan product. And one of our core missions is providing access to capital. And again, this is where getting capital ready or getting ready to take onto that loan is where our resource partners can come into play. And making sure that you understand you're taking on appropriate levels of debt to really have an impact on your business, but not so much that you get in trouble. And so we have a variety of programs. Again, our flagship 7A loan program is our primary program. But we also have our micro-lending program where you can work with a micro-lender, which can be loans up to $50,000 to get started And then also we have our 504 loans, which allow for fixed plant or capital equipment. One of the major initiatives we're doing at SBA is focused on manufacturing. So we're really trying to encourage these small manufacturers to invest in the plants and equipment. Couple that with the president's tax cuts, which a lot of the small business tax provisions, including RD, factory equipment expensing, 100% depreciation there, the small business permanent deduction. We think there's a lot worse. The stage is set right now from whether a tax perspective and spring-loaded for growth, but also now with SBA's policies to really help them. So again, the capital access equation is a two-step: learning how to intelligently access capital, and then approaching an SBA lender to have that discussion, and working through that. And so the variety of options and resources out there, and SBA is proud to be a partner in that process.
And so the start really is talking with those resource partners.
Yeah.
That next question is, okay, well, there was this guy, I think he was the deputy administrator of SBA, he told me about SBA lending, and then that resource partner says, yes, in fact, your local community bank is an SBA lender, and then there's that connection. Mm-hmm. And when small business owners are in their second, third, fifth year of business, and they want to grow, there's sometimes these headwinds of federal regulatory pressures that keep them from doing what they love. You know, I haven't met a small business owner yet who likes filling out federal forms. No. And I understand that the SBA administrator, Kelly Loeffler, mm-hmm. And you and a whole team within the administration are running a team called, I think it's called the Deregulatory Strike Force.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this concept is you're soliciting ideas from small businesses to tell you, make this ridiculous rule go away. Mm-hmm. Am I getting it right?
Yes.
And how do small business owners tap into that strike force?
So the easiest way to do that is redtape@sba.gov. There's also a phone number. But the easiest thing to do is shoot an email to redtape@sba.gov. If you have a federal regulation in any department or agency that you are concerned about, let us know. You will get a real live response. Part of what the administrator and I do when we tour around the country is actually hear from small businesses about the regulatory pressure. And that is one of the things that this administration has recognized. And so when the administrator launched the Deregulatory Strike Force in December, and consistent with the president's effort on overall deregulation, we are really going after and focusing on common sense solutions and deregulatory efforts to help small businesses grow and expand. And there are myriad examples of this, and we have on right now 120 deregulations for every new regulation. And honestly, we have a lot more work to do after the last 4 years, which was an insane amount of regulation. I worked in a regulatory position before. And so we're really optimistic and really focused on doing everything we can. Your old office, the Office of Advocacy, is a key role in this. It's one of the key resources that SBA has. The SBA Office of Advocacy is adjunct to the SBA, and their job is to help advocate for small businesses in the federal regulatory process. They also conduct economic research. They do a phenomenal job, and they're a key partner in this deregulatory strike effort. So they run the redtape@sba.gov. They're the folks who will get back to you with your concern. We really welcome the input. We have a relatively small window here to make an impact, and I guarantee you this administration, we are focused on doing everything we can to cut regulations, to repeal back the things that prevent you from growing, and we want to do it. So please let us know. Our job is to be responsive to you. We work for you, and we want to make your lives and your businesses that much better with less regulation.
Well, you know, since we're friends and we're just like right here, you could maybe tell me about a little rumor that I've heard.
Okay.
You know, no one's watching.
No one. All right.
So the rumor is that during one of these trips, either you or the administrator were on, they ran into a watermelon farmer in Florida who said there's an OSHA rule that requires shade protection when harvesting watermelons. And this farmer, who, rumor is, talked with either Administrator Loeffler or you mm-hmm. or someone from Office of Advocacy, said, the problem is we harvest them at night. Is that true?
Yes.
Right.
That was not me, but that is a true story. And that's a perfect example of what we are trying to address. And some of these rules, when you go out there and see them in practice, one example is the diesel exhaust fluid. If we have anyone here who works in the ag or rural sectors, they're very aware of the diesel exhaust fluid rule, which basically can shut down your tractor in the middle of a field. And so this administration is working to repeal and put common sense, restructure that regulation, and ultimately, hopefully, repeal parts of it, because it was impacting farmers for minimal impact or environmental benefit, so-called environmental benefit. And that's something where we're really driving the train on affordability, because if it impacts the farmer, that's going to impact the price of groceries. And so we're hearing about that, and we're doing everything we can. But we hear constant stories of things that may have made sense 40 or 50 years ago, but technologies and processes have improved so much, it's no longer relevant, but you have to do it the old way to be by the book. And that's the sort of thing where we're like, this, help us, show us where we can install common sense deregulatory efforts, move very quickly. One of the untold stories things of this administration is we are all working as a team rowing. So I can call my colleagues in other departments and agencies and quickly get an answer. We're texting all the time, sharing information or asking what's going on. It's a quick phone call to say, hey, what's up? And we want to just move together and help America succeed. That is our focus. That's the president's vision, and we're behind it, and we're all rowing in that direction.
And you touched on how reducing red tape increases affordability, whether it's groceries, gasoline, and other things. You and I have talked in the past about how important it is to have manufacturing, more robust manufacturing in the United States, and really narrowing in on the domestic supply chain, that when it is running smoothly, it actually makes things more affordable. And I know that your team has a specific lane in manufacturing and supply chain at SBA that is trying to make that happen. Can you explain a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, so day one, when Administrator Leffler came in, she announced the Made in America Manufacturing Initiative. And it's an all-of-the-above effort to increase the manufacturing base of our country. 98% of all manufacturers in the country are small businesses. This is our lane, and we are owning it. And so that's everything from deregulation efforts, over $100 billion in regulatory costs and burdens for manufacturers reduced, but also providing new loan products like our MARC, our Manufacturing Access to Revolving Credit, which is the first ever loan product designed with manufacturers in mind. They have different inventory and production cycles. It's not the same thing, and so you need some flexibility. That's what the loan product gives them. To our 90% manufacturing loan guarantee, which basically says to a lender, we are going to guarantee 90% of the loan against loss if you make it to manufacturers or food production specialists or logistics in the food production. And so if you're talking to a banker or a lender and saying, we're eliminating 90% of the risk, that is a tremendous offer. The only better deal was PPP, the program I ran. But all of this is in response to when we first met during the COVID era. We learned about the importance of supply chain resiliency. And so that's why all of our capital access efforts are focused on getting capital to small manufacturers, those who are in critical technology sectors, and then also those in food production, again, to work on the affordability so that our farmers and ranchers and producers can ultimately have access to capital and then expand and lower the cost of goods and services.
Well, Bill, I want to tell you a story.
Okay.
Philip Freeman in Raleigh, North Carolina, owns a company, after serving in the military, started a company called Murphy's Naturals. It's an all-natural bug spray because his wife is horribly allergic to DEET, the chemical in most bug sprays. And it turns out that those essential oils and chemicals that he needed to make, well, sorry, no chemicals. The ingredients he needed to make the bug spray were all sourced in China. And so he sourced them from China, got the EPA license to distribute this bug spray, and now over 98, so it's taken 7 years, 98% of those oils and ingredients that go into Murphy's Naturals are sourced in the United States.
Yes.
So that's a success story, and I know there are tons of other small businesses who want to do that. How is SBA helping make that possible?
So, I'm going to give you a few things. They've given you red tape at SBA.gov. The other one is SBA.gov/onshoring. If you are a supplier or producer, this is our portal where there are over 1 million US-based suppliers and producers. So if there's anyone in the room who says, well, I have to get it from a foreign country, I've done this so many times it gets embarrassing. I go to the guy, I'm like, why don't we go look on the SBA.gov/onshoring portal and see if there's a US-based supplier or producer who makes this in America. And 9 times out of 10, there's somebody there who does it. And so that resource is free. It is on SBA.gov/onshoring to find US-based producers. But to the larger point, we're turning the ship around what has been going one way to really grow the US capacity to produce goods here. And we are doing it, and those success stories like the one you just mentioned are really great, and it's having a lot of positive effect. And again, we want to do everything we can to help those small businesses who need to find US-based suppliers and producers.
So one more time, the website?
SBA.gov/onshoring. It is a free portal and has over 1 million US-based suppliers and producers. And if you are a US-based supplier or producer, please make sure you're listed. And if not, let me know and we'll get you fixed.
Now, this is National Small Business Week.
Yep.
I probably should have started with that, but you helped me out,
no,
so thank you. And over 130 small businesses were with the president earlier this week. Mm-hmm. And I personally love when small business owners come to Washington. They bring some of that common sense here and then go back home and run their businesses. But I'm struck by some of the things that you talked about in soliciting input from small business from around the country, bringing those small businesses here, but that's not where it stops. How many states have you been to in the last 5 or 6 days?
I've been to 7 states in the last 3 days, including Hawaii. I've been to 5 states in the last 3 days, and then tomorrow's the final stop, and I have 4 events like this today. The administrator's hitting 6 states.
Wow.
So we're covering almost a quarter of the country in 1 week because we love small business so much. And the best thing is we get to go out there and meet these small businesses, these award winners who've come. I just was with somebody yesterday. They were with the president on Monday. They are so excited and enthralled. And then I show up at their place or their factory, and the local news is there. And then they're just showing how much they've grown in the last few years. And it's just this awesome thing. And listen, the headlines can be a lot of really negative things. One of the best parts of my job is going around and seeing these small businesses succeed, the grit, the determination. You don't hear about them every day, but the optimism, the case for optimism is there. And that's why I love serving small business in my role. It is a tremendous honor to do so. And I'm so glad we have this week to honor them. And it was so cool. I think this is the first time the president has ever met with small businesses during Small Business Week, and it was a tremendous honor. And it's an event people will never forget, and it's all part of our 250th anniversary this year. And so, again, the president always says to Administrator Loeffler, small business is big business, and he follows it up. And this is a president who gets small business, supports small business, and I am proud to serve him and the administrator and go out and see our small businesses everywhere.
Well, it's just pretty amazing to personally witness the energy that you have, especially with the road show that you've been on. It makes it extra special that you're spending a little bit of time here at our Small Business Day. And I know where to reach you.
Yes.
You know where to reach us.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's give Bill Briggs a warm round of applause.